Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another live cast for the 12 Days of Elfmas. And look at that. And here we are on the second day of Elfmas, and we thought for the second day of Elfmas, we would talk about two different wishes. And we have a special guest. Elf Ambar is here to join us. Welcome, Ambar. How are you doing?
You. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, we're very happy that you're able to. She received the invitation very shortly ago, but she was able to, do what needed to get done, and she's all ready to join with us. And of course, Elf Christine is going to talk about her. She's going to talk about her wish first, and then Ambar will go, and then that'll be our second day of Elfmas. So. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and the wishes are going nice. We've got a number of them that are completed now. I was just about to update my page, but then it was time to start the thing. So I don't. Do you have the numbers offhand, Christine?
I haven't looked. No.
At some point, I will.
I'm trying to get them into the check it twice column. Just.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
I'm trying to work
maybe
down
I'll talk about the numbers at the end, just before we sign off. But now, are you going to share your screen, or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
Okay. So we are starting with Jesse Wilson Crossley. Is that right?
Yes, and I want to say that I did not do all of anything on this. I saw it, and Liz Brown had actually done quite a bit of other work on it, and then I just found a couple other things and prettied up the profile and finished it off.
Okay. Well.
So this wish comes to us from Chris Orm, who writes, I would love to know more of what happened to my mom's aunt after she emigrated to Canada, and to confirm or otherwise the information I have. It would be wonderful if a kind elf with access to Canada records could help me with this profile. So Jesse was born in England, and like a lot of people from England, emigrated at some point and ended up in Canada and stayed here. She came over with some family, and then it sounds like the family just sort of lost touch with her. And she had a sister, Nellie, that lived here and got married, and her sister had two sons, so she had some nephews, and the nephews would write back and would give her updates, but at some point they lost touch and they didn't know what happened to her. So I did find, Liz had found her a census record from 1921 when Jessie was living with her sister Nellie and her husband Walter Patrick, and they were living at 5 Evelyn Crescent in Toronto. And if you click on that, it will take you to the Google link for maps, and it will show you a beautiful, if you look at the street view, it will show you a beautiful house. I wish I could see the inside of it. It is, the whole neighborhood looks absolutely gorgeous. I can imagine living there in the 1920s. I imagine like a beautiful grand staircase in the front and beautiful windows, and you can see the dormers up in the attic and stuff. It's quite lovely. And then at some point, Jesse met a guy named Harry, who was quite a bit younger than her, but it is what it is. They hit it off and they got married. And at the time that they got married in 1941, he was actually a soldier, and he was living at Camp Borden. And for anybody in Ontario, we know CFB Borden. And I put in the link there to the Wikipedia page. And this is an Air Force base, or a Canadian Forces base where soldiers would train for the war. I didn't go ahead and look and see if Harry went overseas or not. If he did, he came back because they lived in Toronto for the rest of their years. And then you can see that there was a lot of voters lists in Toronto where they lived at 21 Landor Avenue in Toronto, which is a little duplex on a street. Looks kind of quaint. But you can again imagine that, where everybody would have like a half of a house, and you could just, if you spin it, I think it's the other side of the street.
The other side of the street?
Yeah.
Oh, over here maybe. Is that the
Yeah.
one?
Nope, keep going.
There.
It's the one with the little white triangle roof and the little white banister going up to the. It's that house there. The one on the right. If you're looking at the screen. Yeah.
This one.
No, not that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's where they lived for decades, actually. And initially, Harry was, what was his? He was a spinner, but I'm not sure to what extent, like what industry that was. And then he was an engineer, so he was a refrigeration engineer. And then every subsequent voters list, you see he was an engineer. And then in 1968, they just put him as a PN.
Oh.
They put his professional
engineer
designation there. And then, so the biggest question here was what happened to Jessie and when did she pass away? So she actually passed away in 1988 at the age of 95.
95.
Yeah.
Aww.
And I found the smallest little clipping in a newspaper. That'll be your source on
here.
Number 16. It was the smallest little newspaper clip.
Oh, there it
that
is.
said that she passed away in her 95th or 96th year or whatever. And Harry, of course, survived her, and it names her two nephews that she obviously was quite close with. And it looks like she might have been cremated. I found her Find a Grave, but there's no photo. And in her very small obituary, it said that the services were being held at the in the reception hall or whatever of the crematorium. And then on Harry's Find a Grave, it also says that he was cremated. Directly, it says that. So I feel like maybe they're at Mount Pleasant Cemetery, which is a very large cemetery in Toronto. But I feel like they were both cremated and they're there. But Chris has some lovely pictures. Lovely pictures on this profile.
On this profile?
On Jessie's profile.
Look at that.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Nice.
The photos everybody dreams of having.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. So that's it. We found what happened to her. And
very nice. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
The family will really appreciate,
I hope so.
Finding out what happened. Very cool. Great work. Great work. You and, was it Liz? Did you say?
Liz, yeah.
Liz. Nice. Excellent. Okay. So Ambar, you're going to tell us about another wish, right? Is this?
This is the gentleman. Lauren Lewis seems to have been known as Speed.
Speed.
Like a delightful person. He's the father of the wisher. And so the wish was to find out about his second wife.
Oh, and the person who wished was an Amber.
Yes.
And Ambar is the one who fulfilled it.
Is that how you picked it?
No, actually, I had worked and moved a couple other wishes twice, but they had been very, very difficult brick walls, and I was kind of tired of banging my head on things. Yes. So I went into the category and used the table feature and sorted by date. And this one cropped up, and it said, "Find out about the marriage that happened, in the last century, in 19 mumble." And I was like, well, that ought to be doable. And so it came up. I put him into Ancestry, and it came up like a star. And I was like, well, okay, that was kind of easy.
That was too easy.
Well, but then now, if you would, well, look at these pictures. Isn't it?
Oh, look at that. Okay.
There's a Christmas morning photo.
Oh, look at that. How timely. That's fantastic.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, look at that.
So cute.
Matching hard helmets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hard hat.
It's ideal. I love it. But if you follow the link to the one public wife, who is the profile I added, Pamela K. Lawrence.
Okay.
Well, she was tricky because she was born in 51, so there are no census records available yet.
Just missed it. Yeah.
Right. And it was interesting because I said, all right, if I had tackled a Smith or a Jones, this would have been impossible, right? But Lorenzen is not that common, even in Oregon. Okay, there might be a few more in Minnesota. But I said, all right, who was living named Lorenzen in Portland, where she was born in 1950? And that led me to the couple, and I named her father on the profile. And this went by stages, all right? Because this family apparently doesn't believe in obituaries.
Oh, no.
I managed, if you follow reference number 2.
Okay.
This was a newspapers.com find.
Okay.
And it said,
wow, that's a small little thing.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence E. Lorenzen. And I had already found Lawrence Irvin Lorenzen, but I had a problem with him. He divorced his wife in 1950.
He what?
He divorced his wife in 1950. This child was born in 1951. There is no mistake.
Oh.
No.
Who is the mother of Pamela K. Lorenzen? I asked myself.
Yes.
Oh,
So back into, and I wrote my profiles. I just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I went back in and I managed to find the marriage record for his second marriage.
Amazing.
He divorced his first wife and they both remarried. And he married Marcella Laverne Vance Brown, and that was their last marriage. And that had to be, from the dates, that had to be Mrs. Lawrence E. Brown when Pamela K. was born.
Right.
Wow.
That was a big dopamine rush.
Yes.
As they say, that was a yes. So I don't know how much the wisher actually wanted to know about the second wife, but I hope she's pleased.
There we go. That's great.
Because I certainly am.
Yes. Oh, so, and you got those links right there. Yeah. There they are.
What a find. That's amazing.
There we go. So there's the record of his
second marriage.
The second marriage, yeah.
And it's wonderfully detailed. You know, when I was looking at this initially, I said Marcella Brown. Oh, that's going to be dire. But Ancestry,
almost as bad as Smith.
Yes, Ancestry Association of Records. You know how if people yes
connect together, yeah,
that. And also, if I had read it in detail, this does say she's divorced.
Oh,
she's divorced.
Yeah, there's a divorce there.
But in fact, I was looking. The records vary about whether her middle initial is E or V.
Oh.
And I think the clerk simply misheard that V for Vance.
Right.
And wrote down E in some places.
Right.
But yeah, it turns out that it is Marcella Laverne V for Vance.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Wow. Well, that's great. Nicely done. Nicely done. So you both made use of newspapers at some point in your wishes and stuff. Very cool. Good. So so what did I want to do? I wanted to look at the categories just so that we can see what the counts are. So And I don't know if I mentioned that. Did we talk about the categories yesterday of how we were working? I think we maybe briefly talked about it. How all of the wishes were put into one category called the wish received category, which currently has 238 in them. That means there's still 238 wishes. Now we started with 300 and some, right?
I think there's 368.
Yeah.
I think we're
368.
I think we're down by 130.
Yeah. So there's still 238 wishes that haven't been touched yet, that are still open. So and we will accept late applications for more L's. If you were really busy up until Christmas and you just couldn't think about joining us, but now you realize you might have a week off and you have some time on your hands, you're welcome to join us, because we did not shut down the Google Sheet. So if you go to the G2G post where you sign up, there's a link for the Google form, and you can click on that and sign up. And if you can't find that, just send me a message or Christine a message, and or any of your favorite elves, and we'll give you that link so you can join us. But so there's 238 that are not called for yet. But
we are still looking for somebody. Greg, if you just scroll down a little bit and grab that.
What's that?
Scroll down a little bit. Just grab that first one.
This
the one with the yes.
Oh.
Now, if anybody can help out with this, that would be amazing.
Yes. You want siblings or ancestors?
Characters? I don't recognize whether it's Korean or Chinese, but I think it's Korean.
I wouldn't have the first clue. I'm the wrong person to ask. Somebody mentioned it looked like Chinese, but I have no idea.
The shape in that first character, the thing that looks like a stylized stick figure,
yes,
me think that it's Chinese, or sorry, that it's Korean. But I suppose you could simply take the character and paste it into Google search and see what it says.
That's a good idea.
Nope, that's not finding it. Let's see if I do this one. Oh, there. Oh, it's a double character. That's interesting. Translate selection to English. It didn't translate anything because it doesn't know what language to translate.
Yeah.
Now
throw it into Bear Google search. I'm curious.
Just Bear Google search. Okay.
Dee thinks it's a Korean and Karen thinks it's Chinese.
No.
Radical 51, or radical dry meaning oppose, from the kanji radicals.
All right.
Kanji is which?
Kanji is a Japanese. Well, there we go.
Oh,
Chinese is the winner.
Chinese. Okay, there we go. So, anyone with some background in researching, that would be great.
I don't know. I think Karen's volunteered herself in the chat here.
Did she?
What do you think, Karen?
Go for it, Karen. Yeah.
And that might be going back to the wisher, because he says it's his father.
I think it's his grandfather.
He might have an idea about where he died, at least.
Well, he's got a date, so.
Yes, but the location unknown is
right. Yeah.
To me.
Good question. We'll have to follow up on that. In terms of, wait a second, no, that wasn't what I wanted. So the ones that are being worked on, it looks like we have 50 that are in progress. So 50 elves are working away at 50 different, well, maybe not exactly 50, because sometimes there are elves that are collaborating, and boy, the Discord channel just going nuts with all the discussion, so that's excellent.
A lot of people are collaborating with everybody, and then there's Chris, who just talks to himself.
Just talks to himself, yes. So the other thing that we've done, which is new this year, is that, using the categories is new this year, but part of the process that is, I guess, is more formalized this year, which I really like, and I think is really working well, is that when one elf is done with a wish, they've put it in this check it twice category, especially if they know that there's something like a number of elves just go straight to complete. If it's definitely complete and there's really no question that they've satisfied everything, then they'll just switch it straight over to complete. But many elves are putting it in check it twice because they think there's a little something else that needs to be done to it, or they've gone as far as they can go and they just don't know where to go next, or they just want a second opinion. And our elves have been excellent at doing that and helping each other out. So we've got 48 that are sort of, half-baked, if you want to say. And if nothing else, all of these 48 have research notes added to them. So we've got details of what the elves have looked at. And I think we all realize that these wishes were put forward by WikiTreeers. Many now there's a number that were added by brand new WikiTreeers or relatively new WikiTreeers, but many of them by seasoned veterans. So it's going to be hard to break down brick walls that other WikiTreeers have worked hard on for years and haven't found. So we keep telling ourselves, the more that we can add in terms of research notes and what's the better, because people will appreciate even just little hints of what they try. They might have people have different ideas about how to approach a problem. So it's very exciting.
I have to say your revisions to the protocol, I'm so grateful not to be fighting with that gigantic free space page that 18 people are trying to edit at the same time. I am delighted.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is only our third?
This is our third
year?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the categories are working fantastically. I feel like I had that idea last year, but far too late to enact it.
Yeah.
And I know that this challenge will be more popular every year that we go on. So we need data management. Management is key.
That's right. Yeah. It looks like we have 22 that are complete. 23. Ooh, one snuck in just when we weren't looking. So there we go. So thank you.
Well, if anybody wants to talk about their wish, just
yes,
DM Greg and
okay. So one of Christine's been interrupted. Yes, so let me know, because you too could be a special guest here on the 12 Days of Elfmas. And
it's practically painless.
And it was painless. You did a great job, Amber. Thank you very much for joining us. And at the last moment too, that was wonderful. We really appreciate that. So we have something a little special tomorrow. We're not actually revealing a wish. We're doing something different. We're taking you on a little bit of a tour. And then we've got people lined up for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is wide open. So, but thanks everyone who was watching. Thanks to everyone who's watching this.
Anne wants the wishes in an alphabetical order.
Can you put the wishes in ABC order?
Find what?
On here, they are automatically by last name in the category list.
Maybe the Google sheet? I'm not sure.
The Google sheet. You could sort by column, couldn't you?
What about the browser extension table? Doesn't that allow you to search by
I haven't used that one.
If you do this, click on the table here, and then just search by last name at birth.
Given name. I mean,
or given name.
I don't know which name she wanted, but it sounded
right.
I want the last name at birth sort that is the default.
Okay, so
if you just click
the
on
oldest
them?
the oldest profile that has been completed and solved is a 1777.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. And the most recent one is the one that Amber showed us. There we go. So that's kind of a few little stats that you can do when you play around with the table. Anyways, thank you all for joining us. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. And happy holidays for those who don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, it's still Christmas Eve, whether you celebrate it or not, I guess, technically. And we will see you. We'll be playing another video again tomorrow, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Happy Elfmas.